Hello students, today we are going to discuss chapter Federalism for class 10 Democratic Politics chapter 2. Basically it is a continuation of your chapter 1 power sharing. In this we will see how power sharing arrangement is done in a federal government. Let us see what we are going to discuss in this video. What is federalism? Features of federalism. What makes India a federal country? How is federalism practiced? Decentralization in India. We will first cover few points in this part 1. Let us check the definition. It is a system of government in which power is divided between the central authority and various constituent units of the country. Basically, the power is divided among different levels. The term federalism also used to describe a system of the government in which sovereignty is constitutionally divided between a central governing authority and constituent political units. Basically, the power is divided and elaborated by the constitution. It is not just orally that we decide that this power should be given to this level and this power should be given to that level. It is properly explained and specified in the constitution of the country. Let us check government, where two levels are there. Government is there for the entire country. Governments at the level of provinces and states both enjoy power independent of each other. Basically, enough of power and space is given. State government has power of its own and not answerable to the center, and the example is USA. Next is unitary government. As the name states, unitary means one. Only one level of government is there. Subunits are subordinated. Center can pass orders to the local government, and the example is United Kingdom. Features of federalism. It has two or more levels of the government. This is the most important question, 5-marker full-fledged question from the board point of view. Usually this question occurs in the board exam. Each level has its own power or jurisdiction. Basically, every level is attached with the jurisdiction and the powers are also specified. Jurisdiction is specified by the constitution and there is constitutional guarantee of the authority. That means everything is written in the constitution. Constitutional provisions can be changed only with the consent of both levels of the governments. It is to ensure that the power is not concentrated in one hand. Court interprets the constitution and power of different levels of government. Supreme Court is the umpire if dispute arises with different levels of the government. So basically there is always a scope of the intervention of the court. If the court finds that law which is made is not in the circle of constitution, it can either suggest or even nullify it. Sources of revenue are clearly specified, that which kind of a taxation will fall or will be given to which level. Objectives of federalism. It is very important that what functions we are going to achieve through federalism. It is to safeguard or promote the unity of the country and to accommodate regional diversities. Enough of space is given and people participate properly if the regional diversities are also accommodated through federal structures. The two crucial aspects of an ideal federalism. Governments at different levels should agree to some rules of power sharing. There should be a level of trust, mutual understanding and agreement. So, they should live together and should ensure the longevity as well by increasing the understanding. Another 5-marker full-fledged question, very important. There are two routes to achieve federalism. Let us compare that and understand. First is your coming together. Independent states coming together on their own to form a bigger unit. Increase security by pooling sovereignty and retaining identity. That means there is independence of each state to exercise their power. All constituent states have equal power. They share equal power and they are not subordinate anyways. An example is USA, Switzerland and Australia. Now let us see the other side, that is your holding together. This is large country decides to divide power between the constitutional units and center. Usually the area is very large and they require the division of power to exercise a better government. Center is more powerful than states. Constituent units of federation have unequal powers. Very natural. They have unequal powers if the center is more powerful. An example is India, Spain and Belgium. Now I would love to give you one trick. Some of the times children get confused which is the coming together and which one is the holding together. And usually they put up wrong examples and the explanations and the whole answer is wrong. For this, we must learn this way that holding together is just like a mother is holding the hand of a child. That means all the instructions will be given by the mother and the child will follow. And the example is India. Then you will be able to understand and learn it properly. What has made India a federal country? Constitution has declared India as a union of states. A lot of things, criterias are there on which on those grounds we can say that India is a federal country. 3-tier federalism is there, union, state and the panchayat. There are 3 levels that we are reading from class 6th. 3-fold distribution of legislative powers under the union list, state list and concurrent list. This is another sort of very important question. 3/5 marker question comes out of it and we will be discussing it in detail now. All states in Indian Union do not have identical powers. That is an example of union territories. Changes in power sharing has to be passed by 2/3 majority in the parliament. That means it is not that one-sidedly you can bring out all the changes. The mutual understanding, consent should be there. In case of any dispute regarding division of power, the apex court, that is your Supreme Court, will take the decisions. Now let us discuss the threefold distribution. First is your union list. It defines all those areas which will fall under the category of union list. These are having the subjects of national importance. Secondly, union alone can make the laws. Third, example is defense, banking, currency, foreign affairs and communication. Basically, all the very urgent, crucial departments fall under this union list. Then is your state list. It has subjects of local and state importance. State governments alone can make laws. So this much independence is given to this level that whatever is concerned with their level, their area, their region, they can exercise some power. Example is police, trade, commerce, agriculture and irrigation. All these examples are also sometimes asked in 1 marker question. And then is your concurrent list. It has subjects of common interest both to the center and the state. Both the center and the state can frame laws. So basically both of them have access to this. Example is your education, forest, trade union, marriage, adoption and succession. If you ask about education, we have Haryana board also and we have CBSE, which is a central board. So these kind of an examples where we require the intervene of both state and the union level. These are the pictures explaining these 3 lists. Now the last is your residuary powers. These are having the subjects which do not fall under the 3 lists we have discussed in the previous slide. Union government alone has the power to make laws. Just because these are having mostly those subjects which came after the constitution was framed, and for example this is your computer software. This is a federal establishment where you see the explanation, the national topics or the motives or the urgent agendas like declaring war, maintaining armed forces, regulating interstate and foreign trade, admitting new states, establishing post offices. All these are very, very important, and these all fall in the category of union list. And if we look at the state, we see establish and maintain schools, local governments, business with the states, marriage laws. All these fall under the category of your state list, but some of them are common to both. That is your shared one, your concurrent list. This is your maintaining law and order, levying taxes, borrowing money, charter banks, establishing courts, police for public welfare. So this gives you a clear picture how the lists work, their threefold distribution. So here we end up with the part 1 of the chapter. I hope you have understood. Have a great day.